What does it mean to be a rock star in 2025? I may not look like I'm always the one to be speaking on stuff like this, but I can promise you I'm better than the ones that you be watching anyways. There are some real great examples of actual true rock stars out there and in 2025. But I guarantee you, the ones who are on the come up right now, who are standing on some shit, don't actually, mean it for the right reasons. And I'm finna explain why for myself. The first point I want to talk about is not being performative, but being a good entertainer. For everyone you watch now, especially those who are new and on the come up of being, either someone in rock music or someone who is around in that genre, or even a rap artist or country artist who wants to consider themselves that kind of person. The point not being performative but being an entertainer. On that I mean someone who is not doing this for clout, someone who's not doing this strictly for money. Get in your bag, of course, but someone who is able to put on a good show on stage but keep it real to you in real life, someone who's actually giving you information, not being, fed information from a PR team, and someone who's speaking on their shit for themselves. That's the most important part. Being performative is someone who is going out of their way to make it look good for the internet. I'm not trying to make it look good for the internet. I could have like a whole ass setup for this, but I'm doing this in my bedroom. I'm giving y'all real points that I feel are something that needs to be spoken about. Being an entertainer means someone who can put on a good show, someone who can show up and get a crowd riled up, someone who can lead the masses, someone who can actually go out of their way to give you a good time and give you an escape from whatever it is that's troubling you up here. An entertainer is someone who's there to show up for you. They're not there to put on an act and give you something that's, a false version of reality. They're there to show you the truth of the matter, but still be someone who can make it extravagant, for an example. Being performative is truly what's killing the industry right now in terms of music, and it's killing fan bases and it's killing scenes and all that. Like I said, the difference between someone who's being performative is they will put on an act and make you want to like them, make you want to believe them for everything they say or do, but you can tell it's set up in a way. You can tell that there's someone else in their ear. The difference between me personally and someone who's doing this for the performative aspect, I'm not going to be a comparison for everyone you meet, but I'd hope to be a comparison for what is right and what is wrong. I'm doing this strictly for myself. I can swear, I can cuss, I can do whatever the fuck I want, truly. And I can say some real wrong shit. I can say some bullshit to you. I'm choosing to take the time out of my day to say a real point and give you a real piece of information instead of feeding you, I'm here to show you the world type narrative, I'm not here doing this with a label, with a team behind me saying that this is the right way to go about this. I'm doing this for myself. And that's the difference between being performative and being an entertainer. I want to entertain you in your time, but I want to teach you the real truth about why this matters. Point number 2, caring for what you stand for and caring for how you want to be perceived by your audience. Or, even just as a general normal person in the world, putting up the right set of boundaries for yourself and showing off how you want to be seen to the world by your friends, your family, and so on and so forth. Fairly simple. Any artist who wants to get into this knows this, period. I'm someone who's working on this entirely. It comes down to how you act, how you talk, how you walk, how you look, how you dress, how you are perceived by a general audience. Some people like to call this aura. Some people like to call this, general demeanor, stuff like that. The point that I want to make towards this is, if you are someone who is making some fuck ass music, talking about really fucked up topics, or you are someone who is pushing a negative narrative onto people, there are artists out there, I won't name names, but there are artists out there who make specifically music to entertain people who are sad or depressed. That is a very, very tough job to do, for one, and that is a very, very tough job to do, especially if you are someone who wants to push a certain narrative. What I mean by that is, there are people out there who make sad music for the right reasons, and then there are people out there who make sad music for the wrong reasons. For wrong reasons specifically, getting money out of someone, talking about stuff to influence a certain way people should go about doing things, talking about certain topics to bring it into light, to make it a joke or to make it a certain discussed topic or a certain meme of sorts. And then there are those who actually go out of the way to say some shit to help you through it, to say some shit to make you feel something, to make you understand why someone else is going through this, have you understand empathy towards this. Even if you're someone with lack of empathy, you would be able to at least get a grasp consciously of, this is why this person is going through this. I hope you understand. If you don't, then at least you listen to the message, and that's what matters. The biggest thing towards this, and is a gigantic red flag for anyone out there who you, as a fan or as someone who is a listener, keep in mind, I'm talking from the perspective of someone who is a fan of artists, who is a fan of music and social media influencers, YouTubers, stuff like that. I was someone who grew up in that era listening to music and finding different artists, and someone who grew up watching YouTubers and understanding that, okay, there are people out there who are doing this strictly strictly for the money and who are doing this strictly for the purpose of entertainment value, to take up my time and distract me from the world that I want to be stepping into. And a huge chunk of that goes back to style. It goes back to your demeanor and your overall presence, something that I am also working on. You know, there are people out there who make, I am one of these people, by the way, who make rock music and rap music, grunge music, punk rock music, stuff like that. I don't always, in my TikToks especially, sometimes with YouTube videos, I'm not always dressed to look like a rock star. I'm not always dressed to look like someone who is making music at all, to be honest. Sometimes I dress up in just very general clothing, and that's not a bad thing. It is true to someone who's watching, an onlooker, all of you on my For You page, or anyone who comes stumbling across any of my music or my videos, you can tell right away if that person is truly serious about what it is they do. I've noticed that, you know, people gravitate towards me more when I'm dressed like a rock star. People gravitate towards me more when I'm speaking on the truth of that, dressed like a rock star, or, you know, when I hold myself in that more character and not always just like, hey, I'm here to show off something. Like me right now, I'm talking to you and I'm not putting on an act. I'm not trying to put on an act, but like I'm taking this a lot more seriously now than I did before, where I would just dress in my normal day clothes and not give a fuck about the necessary outfit that I'm wearing and thinking about how people will take that. But now, on a more serious note, I am taking that into consideration. Not that I have to wear a leather jacket and a fucking sweater or wear diamonds and jewels and shit like that, but all of that is something that goes into a character. And there are people who take this in stride and will put on all of this for a persona. They want to be a rock star. I am a rock star, and that's the difference. I might not always make rock music, but I can guarantee you I can rock an axe, and I can guarantee you I spit shit, and I can guarantee you everything I'm on is something that's worthy of note to be a rock star. And I would hope that this video that I'm making is something that congruently will show you that I am someone who, if not already is, by your definition, I understand, is someone who shows up as wanting to truly be a rock star. But motherfucker, I already am, so fuck your opinion. Point number 3, and this goes, first of all, this goes hand in hand with what I was saying before, but this also goes hand in hand with not even just being a rock star. I know this entire conversation is about that, but this is about being an artist, or being someone who is a personality online, or being someone who is wanting to make a job out of something creative specifically. But shit, this could probably apply to like I don't know, being an office worker, or, you know, someone who's a pen pusher. More jobs where it's like strict to the note, to the book. It's not about the music you make, but it is about the music. Fuck what anyone else says. I will stand on this point and I will die on this hill. You know, put my grave down for real. It isn't about the type of music that you make, but it should always be about the music. Otherwise, what the fuck are you doing in this industry? What the fuck are you doing trying to be someone who is creative? Like, if you're gonna make videos, why the fuck are you going out of your way to be someone who's performing like it's not even your job? Like, why? That's an actor's job, and even an actor takes it seriously. It's not about the way that you're acting, it's about the movie and fitting the character. It's not about the type of music that you make. You can make fuck ass music, like you can make meme music, and you can make hard drill shit, and, you know, stand on the fact you're a driller or a gangster or whatever the fuck, and you could be that kind of person. But it's still about the music if you're going to be an artist. Otherwise, stay trapping, stay being a gangster, stay being someone who's taking life as a joke and shit, and stay being that person, you know? The moment you step into a job, or step into something you want to make your passion, take that shit seriously, because otherwise, not everyone does, but for a majority of the time, it shows. It shows to me, it shows to your fan base, it shows to everybody else. You know, there's people who really do this shit seriously and make joke music, or make music that isn't serious at all, but when they step into an interview and when they step online and shit like that, they will stand for what they do 100%. And then there's those who make music for literally just the money. Don't get me wrong, like I said before, get in your bag, go ahead, make profit. I want to make profit. Fuck, I need money, of course. Who doesn't? Otherwise, why would you want to turn this into a job, period? But if you are not taking this seriously as an artist, as someone who is making music strictly for the music, then what the fuck are you doing with the music you are making? You know? Trust me when I say what's real will prosper, and what is the fact of the matter will show up entirely. In 2025, I feel like being a rock star is someone who is a leader for the right reasons. I would fucking hope anyone who wants to be a major artist, period, and those who already are major artists are standing on what is right. You know, there's a lot of shit that happens in the industry. There's a lot of, you know, there's drama, there's beef, there's people who, you know, say shit and don't mean shit. There's people who stack on points and opinions that end up being wrong later on. You know, like age is like milk. I would hope that everyone who already is an established artist artist knows this to the fucking T. Regardless if they want to follow through with it entirely or not, I hope they understand that towards their fan base and towards the people that are around them and represent them, you are a leader for those people. You are someone who is leading people towards a direction in which you are going yourself, regardless if you like it or not. The moment you hire someone onto your team, or regardless or not, the moment you have someone who is dedicating themselves and their time and their energy to be a part of your fan base or be a part of your life in some way, shape, or form, that you, motherfucker, are now a leader to a certain mass of people. I want to be the right kind of leader to the people who follow me. And I would hope that everyone watching this who understands this wants to be someone who is a proper leader to the masses that they have following them. There is a difference between a good leader and a bad leader, a right leader and a wrong leader. And that is in turn how they choose to go about pushing themselves as a person through their demeanor, or how they choose to set an image for the people who are around them, as in their fan base. These are great fans. They rock with me. These are the craziest motherfuckers in the building. They will literally tear the place up. These are damn near Satanists. And I don't mean that towards actual Satanists who are like good people who understand that properly, but like these are the wrong Satanists who want to sacrifice children and shit like that, you know, that kind of Satanist. These all matter because you are now someone who is in a position, whether you like it or not, you have someone following you. This is what you wanted because you stepped on the internet and decided, hey, I want to make something as content and I wanted to do something with myself to entertain someone else. The moment you said you wanted to entertain someone else and you wanted to be a public persona, you have the public now following you. You have now the public who understands that you exist, and you now have to follow through with that. Otherwise, you cut this shit here and you are done with it. You cannot stick through and be someone who is like that, because then we get Charles Manson, we get fucking Ted Bundy, we get people like that who exist in the world, aren't all the way there, but are still doing shit like this because they have a group of people who follow through with their attention. We have people out there who are fake representing the emo community. We have people out here who are fake representing the rock community. We have fake people out here who are standing on points and acting like they're the best in the room because they got some money now, because they got some attention now. And there are people out there who exist who are being pushed by radio plays, being pushed by the entire music industry, who are not actually good people. And motherfuckers will know this, if not already know this, that they exist and are not pushing the right message and want that to be the emphasis on their life, but they will mask it in a way that you don't see that on forefront. You have to read between the lines, and not everyone is willing to, and not everyone understands how to, but those people exist. And that is something that you have to understand, that you have to choose, like a fucking president, for an example, or a prime minister, or a king or a queen, that all these people exist, but they're not the best to follow. They're not the best to understand until you know them through their record, their history, and through what they have done. I say specifically to almost damn near everyone, don't fuck with me for the videos that I make. Don't fuck with me for what you see on forefront. Rock with my music. I don't want you to listen to my music because I get paid off of every stream. Trust me, it's not the best money that I'm making, but I want you to listen to my music because I tell you who I am through my music. If you're going to watch my videos, I would say watch them afterwards, but if you watch them first, don't just look at me for this. I'm talking to you right now, and I understand that this is what you are seeing. I'm Call 5. Hi, it's nice to meet you. I live in Calgary, Alberta, and I am 23 years old. I am a musical artist. I gave you, like 4 or 5 pieces of information there that you may have not previously known. That's the stuff you need to look for. That's the stuff you need to understand. What have I done with my life? Would you actually rock with me if you knew everything about me in my life? Would you understand me better as a person for the information I give you? There is a right and a wrong to that, where you become a kind of a stalker and go out of your way to look at a lot of information that's way too personal that you shouldn't know about. You know, if it was like a criminal record, if you saw the important things on there, like I've been bullied in high school, I've been bullied in elementary school, I was someone who grew up as a radio baby, so I didn't strictly start with rap music. I strictly didn't start with, I guess you could say I started with pop music and just radio music. Would you still fuck with me as an artist who makes emo rap music and punk grunge rock music? You know, I didn't find out about Nirvana until later on in my life. Would you still fuck with me as a rock artist? I didn't start getting into making YouTube videos until I understood that I can do this for music. I don't want to be a YouTuber. Would you still fuck with me? Stuff like that. That's the stuff you have to learn about. And to everyone who wants to be a personality on the internet, be a good leader. Understand what is right and understand what is wrong. And if you're going to be someone who is leading someone, show them the right value. I understand everyone's morals and, realistically, everyone's life is different. But if you're going to be someone who's leading someone, at least show them the right in your version. The general gist of what is absolutely wrong. Law-wise, maybe. I understand. Trust me, I lived that life too. But to a certain extent, murder is wrong. We can all agree on that, right? Show them the right through what you have lived and understand that these are different people. Not everyone is going to understand why. So explain it in the way that you can and understand that your life isn't going to be the best for everyone. So it should always just be your opinion against someone else's. That's what matters. What does it mean to be a rock star? It means do it for yourself, but understand that everyone else is watching. Once you post something up to social media, once you drop your first music, once you post that first video, the moment it hits the internet, it hits online, everyone is capable of watching it. You could have 8 billion views tomorrow because 8 billion people need to watch this thing. Doesn't mean it's the truth of the matter, but you could have the potential for 8 billion people to watch this thing if it matters that much. You know what I'm saying? When the president speaks, regardless of who the president is, that's just a general example. When the prime minister speaks, same deal. When the king speaks, when the queen speaks, same deal. Doesn't matter who they are. I understand right now it's some fuck ass people, but like, for the example, when someone of right power speaks, there could be a possibility of 8 billion people who need to watch it. If there was a world war tomorrow, 8 billion people probably need to know about that. You feel me? So as someone who is a rock star, I understand that the moment I post something online, everyone on the planet Earth is capable of watching this. I know that the moment this hits your For You page, you are capable of seeing me in the fullest extent that I am right now in this video. It might not be the same 10 seconds from now. It might not be the same a day from now, a week from now, but I understand that regardless, I now have to stick towards the image that I have posted up for you to see. I am this person and I will forever be this person, because if I am not, then I am not real. Then I am not a person of my word, and I'm not someone who deserves to be speaking on the internet, period. Take away my goddamn phone. The truth of the matter is, everyone can see you. Do it for yourself, but know that the world is watching, and if you fuck up, if you fuck up, someone out there will know, and someone out there might just do something about it. So be the right person and understand that your opinion won't matter to everyone, and your opinion might cross roads with someone else and they might not like it. But if you stack on what is right and you are the person you say you are, what are they gonna do? What could they possibly do? What's the worst? It exists and it will forever exist. And as long as it's the truth towards you, you've said your piece, and that's what matters. I will forever be doing that, and I hope you understand that through watching this, I've always been the same person. I've gone through phases like everyone else, but I've never changed in character. I've never changed in demeanor. I've always been the same person. I am this motherfucker. I am a rock star. I am Code 5. Thank you for talking to me today. I meant listening. Thank you for listening to me today.